Hi everyone. So my name is Jade and I'm a first year PhD student at the University of Melbourne. And today I'll be presenting my systematic review exploring the relationship between embodiment illusions and body image disturbance among clinical and non-clinical samples. So let's start with some background. Body image disturbance is characterized by dysfunctional negative feelings, attitudes, and cognitions towards one's body or shape, such as body dissatisfaction, and or a distorted experience of body weight or shape, such as body size overestimation. And body image disturbance is a central factor in the etiology of eating disorders and body dysmorphic disorder. Both of these are severe and life-threatening conditions with high prevalence rates and poor prognostic outcomes. Overall, this warrants continuing scientific research to understand to increase understandings about the underlying mechanisms responsible for the onset and maintenance of body image disturbance, as well as how it can be treated. And one area that remains less examined is the mechanisms underpinning disturbed self-perception. So our self-perception emerges from the integration of multisensory signals. And one phenomena that is used to understand this are embodiment illusions. So this is the illusory paradigm, which leads individuals to temporarily incorporate another person's body part or whole body into their own self-image after sharing a multisensory experience with that person. And the most well-known illusion is the rubber hand illusion, shown here on the screen. So this is where a rubber hand is placed in the participant's view and their real hand is hidden from view. And synchronous, but typically not asynchronous stroking of the hands leads the participant to report subjective ownership over the rubber hand. And the full body illusion, which is shown here, applies the same principles as the rubber hand illusion to one's entire body and is often induced in virtual reality, whereby participants share a multisensory experience with an avatar who they observe through a head-mounted display. And overall, embodiment illusions reveal important facets of self-perception, namely that bodily representations are malleable and can be updated by multisensory input. So individuals with body image disorders, as well as subclinical pathologies, experience embodiment illusions more strongly than those without. This suggests that disturbed bodily perception may reflect broader impairments in multisensory integration. That is, these individuals have a more malleable body image. So we will now start considering how these illusions might act as an alternative intervention to improve self-perception. So whilst current evidence-based treatments for eating disorders and body dysmorphic disorder are improving, they nonetheless often achieve modest results with relapse rates as high as 52%. And interventions targeting disturbed self-perception are uncommon, yet these are required given that disturbances are highly associated with maintenance and relapse. As individuals with body image disorders have a more disturbed and malleable body perception, and embodiment illusions can be used to temporarily change self-perception. So for instance, research has found that embodying an avatar with a healthy BMI has led to reduced body size overestimation in individuals with anorexia nervosa. This suggests that research into these illusions as a possible treatment is important. However, to date, there has been no attempt to systematically review the current literature assessing embodiment as a function of and a method to improve body image disturbance. This leads us to the aims of the current study, which were to systematically review the literature assessing embodiment as a function of and a method to improve body image disturbance, provide a quality appraisal of the included studies, and identify gaps in the literature and directions for future research. So the search was conducted across 6 international databases until May this year, according to PRISMA guidelines, and methodological quality was assessed using a revised version of Down and Black's quality assessment framework. Using Covidence, myself and an independent reviewer screened nearly 1,500 abstracts and 92 full-text articles before reaching the final 29 studies to be included in the review. So the quality appraisal of the included studies identified no major concerns or sources of bias. In terms of the main findings, 13 studies assessed aim 1, that was susceptibility to embodiment as a function of body image disturbance. Overall, the majority of these, so 60%, indicated a difference in susceptibility based on varying levels of body image disturbance, with most of these reporting greater susceptibility among those with higher levels of body image disturbance relative to low or no levels. However, these effects were found to be contingent on several variations. In the interest of time, I'll just present the results from 2 of these, beginning with the embodiment method. So 7 studies employed the classic rubber hand illusion, and almost all of these, so over 85%, reported greater susceptibility to embodiment among those with high relative to low or no body image disturbance. Comparatively, of the 5 that employed virtual reality-based paradigms, this included the virtual hand illusion or the full body illusion, only 1 of those observed similar findings, with the remaining observing no significant differences, or the opposite, so greater susceptibility among those with low or no relative to high body image disturbance. Varying levels of the body were also used to induce embodiment. So among the 9 studies that involved the hand, the majority, so nearly 67%, reported greater susceptibility to embodiment among those with high relative to low or no body image disturbance. Comparatively, almost all of the remaining studies that engaged the abdomen or an array of body parts reported no significant effect of body image disturbance on embodiment. So 22 studies addressed AIM2. Of these, almost 90% observed changes in body image disturbance post-embodiment, so the large majority, with most of these, so nearly 80%, reporting positive modifications alone, and only a small minority of studies reporting negative modifications alone or no change in body image disturbance. However, again, these effects were found to be contingent on several variations, such as the size of the embodied body or body part. So as could be expected, embodying a larger body that is relative to one's own actual size resulted in a negative modification in body image in over half of the studies, whilst embodying a smaller body part resulted in a positive modification in body image in over 2/3 of the studies. Interestingly, embodying the same size body part also produced positive modifications for 3/4 of the studies that assessed this. Regarding AIM1, overall systematic review findings showed that susceptibility to embodiment varied as a function of body image disturbance, with higher levels generally observed among those with high relative to low or no body image disturbance. Although the heterogeneity of the observed effects prompts cautious interpretation, this finding nonetheless corroborates increasing evidence that body image disturbance may be due to alterations in multisensory integration. So this is likely the result of visual input being more dominant in individuals with these disturbances during multisensory integration, and this might be due to impairments involving other sensory modalities. The current findings are also consistent with theoretical accounts that individuals with these disturbances are less likely to develop stable internal mental models of what they look like, and that the experience of the bodily self is more plastic. Inspection of additional factors also suggested that individuals with high levels of disturbance tend to experience embodiment more strongly than those with low or no levels, when this interpersonal multisensory stimulation involves in-person rather than virtual reality-based paradigms, as well as when this stimulation involves the hand, not the abdomen or an array of body parts. Now, although future research is needed, one potential interpretation is that virtual reality may produce more realistic embodiment experience than in-person paradigms, and that the hand has amongst the largest densities of sensory receptors in the whole body. Both of these factors might strengthen the effect of the illusion. Overall, the current findings suggest that these illusions may be a promising new tool to understand the basis and nature of various self-perception issues reported in clinical and at-risk eating disorder and body dysmorphic disorder populations. Regarding AIM2, overall, embodiment produced changes in nearly all of the studies, with the majority of these observing positive modifications. So this really does support the potential efficacy of these illusions in the treatment of eating disorders and body dysmorphic disorder, as well as in prevention and early intervention strategies targeted towards those who are at risk. For instance, if these illusions are shown to be effective, they might even act as a complementary intervention to current best practice treatments such as CBT. Our findings also suggest that intervention should utilize smaller or same-sized bodies or body parts. However, future research is really needed to directly compare the effects of embodying different sized bodies in these clinical eating disorder and body dysmorphic disorder populations, as well as across diagnostic subtypes. So for instance, anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder, etc. This is because their body image concerns are qualitatively different. And one potential ethical issue, however, is whether these eating disorder patients who may show extremely low and a medically dangerous BMIs should actually be exposed to embodiment models who have a similar or lower BMI. So whilst embodiment involving such a model might result in a person having fewer concerns about their current size, it may also mean that these people may lose motivation to increase their otherwise dangerously low BMI. So overall, our findings do provide promising support for the potential efficacy of embodiment as a new tool to not only understand the basis of body image disturbance, but in the prevention, intervention, and treatment of body image related disorders. However, future replication and extension are strongly encouraged. Well, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, do please feel free to email me using that address on the screen.